Hello, everyone. Welcome to the session. So my name is Bhargavi, and I'll be taking you through this webinar. I have 18 plus years of experience in the software industry. Um, and currently, I'm working as a senior data analyst with Innodatatics, and I do trainings with 360DigiTMG. Okay, so at 360DigiTMG, we conduct trainings on a variety of topics like tools, technologies, all the emerging things like data science. You have sessions on AI, digital marketing, data analytics, business intelligence, so on and so forth. So today we will touch upon what is business intelligence, what is data visualization, what are the major players in the market, tools in the market, and I'll give you a small demo on how we can use Tableau for creating dashboards. Okay. So business intelligence, right? BI, something that we hear quite a lot these days. So what is business intelligence? Let us forget about what is business intelligence. Let's just talk about what is intelligence first of all, right? When you call someone intelligent, what is intelligence? So all through our life, from our elders, from our parents, from the society, or right from the time we are born, through our sense organs, we take in a lot of information, right? We see things, we smell things, we hear, we listen, we feel it when feel things. So we're taking in so much of information. And when we take all that knowledge that we have acquired, all that information, and we apply it for the betterment of our life and the betterment of the society at large, we can say we are intelligent. Right? We can say this person is intelligent, using the skills in the right manner, helping everybody grow, leading a good life. The same thing when we take all the technical skills that we have acquired, right? All the technical skills that we might have acquired by, again, going to school right from our childhood, going to college, getting our degrees, graduation, post graduation, PhDs, whatever, and by attending trainings. By these days, YouTube is also a very good learning platform. So by watching videos, or maybe videos on Udemy, whatever, by reading books. So whatever technical skills we have acquired, when we take all those skills and when we apply it on a business for the betterment of that business, right? For the betterment of that business, we would say it is business intelligence. So it boils down to applying your skills on the existing data that is gathered and stored by the business. So every business generates data. For example, if you take Amazon, so they sell a lot of products. So every day there are thousands of transactions that happen there. And all that data is stored, right? Only when you store the data, somebody can analyze that data and they can tell you what are the trends in the data, what are the patterns. Okay, when will the sales be high? When is the sales likely to drop for a certain product, for a certain item? How is the customer behavior in a certain area, right? In the US, what are their preferences? In India, if you're selling something, what are their preferences? So when we have the data gathered and stored, we can use that data, analyze that data, and identify the hidden trends and patterns. Okay, any business these days. So there are many tools in the market that are used in the field of business intelligence to analyze the data. So you can say data analytics. That's the primary responsibility of a data analyst, which is to take the existing data and to analyze it. Now imagine if you're given 10,000 records of data, or forget 10,000. Imagine if you're given just 1,000 records of data, only 1,000. And then you have to go through each and every record and try to make sense out of it. Try to understand the patterns, try to understand the anomalies, the outliers, all these things. It becomes nearly an impossible task. Of course, you can do it, but it will take a lot of time to understand each and every record and see what is going on. On the other hand, if we can present that data in a graphical format, in a visual format, it will become very, very easy to identify things, identify the patterns and trends. So that is the only reason why business intelligence and data analytics are very, very popular. The next step, after you have analyzed the existing data, the next step would be to do prediction, maybe estimate what will happen in the future. Okay, what kind of new things we can implement to improve the existing sales or to improve the existing profits, cut down the losses, all those things. So that's the next step, which usually is the role of a data scientist. Okay, so data analyst is a person who takes the existing data and tries to make sense out of it. Data scientist is a person who takes it a step further. They will try to predict the future and guide the business in the right direction for the future. Okay. Now, under business intelligence, data visualization is one of the very, very important aspects, extremely important. So that is what we will focus on. So the agenda is to understand the importance of data visualization, the principles and tools, principles of data visualization, what are the different tools in the market for the same, how do you prepare your data, how do you build interactive dashboards, and how do you make sense of the dashboards that you have created. So what is business intelligence? As I was explaining at the beginning of the session, it's taking the, applying your skills on the data to come out with something meaningful. So technically, if I have to give a simplest definition for business intelligence, it is all about providing the right information to the right people at the right time so that they can take the right decisions. Okay, for the monetary gain of the business, for the enhancement and overall development of the business. When business is developed, obviously the society at large also improves. The lifestyle of the people who are associated with that business also will improve. So that is why it is very important to focus on business intelligence. Okay, now what is data visualization then? Data visualization is nothing but pictorial representation of the data, where you take the data that is given to you in a raw format with maybe arranged into rows and columns. And when you take all of that data and when you present it in a graphical format, and why should we take the trouble of presenting it in a graphical format? Why can't we simply go through each and every record of data and try to understand it? Because it's impossible. It becomes a Herculean task. But when you present it in a graphical format, picture speaks 1,000 words, right? Even the human memory is such that when you are presented with something in a graphical format, it tends to stay in our memory for a longer duration of time. Right? For example, if I use the term water cycle, okay, whether or not you're able to recollect each and every stage in that process, in the water cycle, you will, I'm sure all of you have the image of a pond and then arrow marks going up, right? And then clouds and then rainfall coming down. So that is the power of data visualization. And hence, it's very important to be able to communicate with your client or with your end users through visualizations. To take their data and present it in a graphical format, in a pictorial format, then it becomes easier for them to understand what you're trying to communicate a quantitative message. Why it makes very complex data also easily accessible and very, very easily understandable. Now, there are many tools in the market that are available under the umbrella of SSBI, self-service business intelligence tools, we call them. There are a number of tools. I mean, this is a small snapshot of many tools that are out there. Of all of these tools, there are two tools which are leading the market. One is Tableau. The other is Microsoft's Power BI. Okay, Tableau has been around for more than 21 years now. I think they've completed 21 years. Power BI has been around for maybe about 7 to 8 years, if I'm not wrong. But both of them are market leaders. Both of them are equally good with respect to data analytics. You can either use Tableau or you could use Power BI for your data analytics requirements, for business intelligence requirements, for data visualization. Okay, both the tools can help you to connect to a wide variety of data sources. Both the tools will help you to create different types of charts, and both of them can help you to create dashboards, reports, which are fully interactive. Okay, So I will give you all the demonstration using Tableau, but if you are interested in seeing a demo on Power BI also, towards the end of the session, I can give you a quick demo on Power BI as well. Okay, we'll see, depending on the pace at which we. Now when we say data visualization, it's not like randomly we will create anything that comes to our mind. There are certain principles that we need to follow. There are certain rules to be followed. There are certain end goals that you need to keep in mind. Okay. So first, before you start on any project, right, whatever it might be, there are 4 things that one needs to understand. You need to understand the requirement, isn't it? Because until and unless we have a thorough understanding of the question, we can't come up with an answer. You need to understand the requirement. And equally important is to understand the data. Okay, what is the database you're working with? How many tables are there? What kind of data is present in each table? What are the columns? What do they signify? What does that data mean? You need to understand your data, which is very important because when you have a clear understanding and grip on the data, you can come up with an optimum solution to the requirement at hand. Third point is to understand your audience, because you wouldn't be creating the same chart for the CEO or the board of directors of a company and for a sales rep of the same company. Right? If it is a CEO or a manager at a higher level, that person would want to get an overview of how the overall work is going on, the overall progress. At the same time, they should also be given the option to drill down, to deep dive into the data wherever necessary. You will present a high level report, but also allow them to go much deeper into that report and look at the element of interest. If you're creating a report for the same organization, same client, but a report that is supposed to be accessed by the sales representatives, now we would obviously not present the same report. A sales rep would be interested in what kinds of questions. How am I doing with respect to my goals? Will I be able to reach the targets? How am I doing with respect to my colleagues? Where do I stand in the competition? How am I doing with respect to my own performance in the past? Am I doing better today compared to what I did yesterday? Right? These are the kinds of questions that person will have. So even before you start developing a dashboard or creating a visualization, always try to think from your end user's perspective. Be the audience for a moment. Okay, if I were that person, what would I want to see here? What insights would I like to draw? What are the questions that I would have? And what kind of answer would I need? Right? So then it will be easier for us to come up with an optimum solution and create the perfect chart. Finally, you need to understand which chart to create when, because in the world of visualization, there are n number of charts. There are n number of charts, literally. So even in the trainings, suppose you enroll for Power BI with us or you enroll for Tableau with 360DigiTMG, in the training itself, you will be learning close to 30, 40 charts. Easily around 40 charts you will learn. And on the last day of the training, if you are confused on which chart should I create when, given a requirement, if you're not able to figure out of the 30, 40 odd charts that you might have learned, which one would be the correct chart or graph to use for that given requirement? How do I present this visually? Then there is no point of going through the training at all. So what we do is, before we even teach you the concepts of a graph of visualization, we always begin with the question, when to create this graph? Because how to create the graph is a series of steps that you will learn. It's just like an algorithm. Learn it, by heart it, and you can always replicate it. But your logical reasoning, that comes into picture in deciding what type of chart should I create for this given data. Which chart would be the optimum? And then you will create that chart. Okay. So these are the things. Talking about principles of visualization, few things that we should bear in mind is we do not perceive absolutes, instead we perceive differences. Means when there is a similarity, right, we tend to ignore it. When something seems a little different, when something seems like an odd man out, something seems like an outlier, usually the eyes are drawn towards it. Eyes are drawn towards the inconsistencies rather than the commonalities. Differences will drive the attention. Similarity leads the viewer to ignore things. Means if everything is similar, we will think, okay, this is probably the pattern that it is supposed to follow. Nothing is going wrong here and there. It's following the pattern. We don't have to worry much. But the moment something goes out of the regular pattern, then we know there is a problem maker over there. You need to go identify that cause and you need to fix that issue. Okay, and our eyes are also drawn to familiar patterns. So especially the color aspect and all, right? For example, if you're creating a chart talking about the profitability of a company, and if you're going to indicate profits in red color, and if you're going to indicate losses in green color, that goes against the general perception of the people, right? At least we are taught, like, for example, traffic signals. When you see a green light, it means you can go. When you see a red light, you need to stop. So generally in projects, if you see red color, means there is something wrong there, and green color means the progress is good. So these are some general perceptions that people have, and we should not go against the general perception that people have. Follow the familiar pattern so that it's easier for people also to relate to what you have created. Now here we have a visualization. What is the goal of data visualization? At a glance, the moment you look at the chart, okay, at a glance, you should be able to, at a high level, at least at a high level, you should be able to understand what is it trying to tell without giving much thought. Okay, at a glance. So this chart, at a glance, without giving much thought, the moment I look at it, I can understand that it is talking about injuries, right? Why? Because it's very clearly written over here, bumps, bruises, and breaks. See, again, according to human psychology, right? When we are presented with something, a paper to read, your eyes automatically focus on the top left corner. Without our own knowledge, they go to the top left corner because that is how we are taught to read and write, right? We go from left to right and top to bottom. Most of the countries. So this piece becomes very important and crucial. The moment I look at it, I know it is talking about injuries. And when I pay a little focus to that person's dress, attire, I know these are not regular injuries that regular people have suffered. These are injuries which players have suffered during a game season, NFL. Right? Now, further, when I take a minute more and try to look at it further and try to understand it further, I know that most of the injuries are to the knee. Followed by that is the ankle. Okay, so at a glance, it is giving you a high-level idea about what it is talking of. What is the topic here? I know now. And then it's also, if you notice, this is a static picture, but generally in real time, it is more dynamic. So it's also giving you the option to investigate further, isn't it? So at a high level, I know this, but I know 96 injuries to the head. And maybe I'm interested in knowing further about this. So when I go there, I can understand that 87 of them are concussion, 7 of the injuries are to the jaw, and 2 injuries are some other random injuries. Okay, if I look at the hand, I know how many of the injuries are on the wrist, on the thumb, on the hand, on the fingers. Okay, so we are able to even investigate further, deep dive into that data and get more insights from it if required. This is what is the goal of data visualization. Ultimately, convey the point at a high level, also give them the option to investigate deeper if necessary. With investigating further means not again digging into the data, row level data, no. On the visual itself, something of interest, you can further explore it. Explore the data further graphically itself. Okay, not in some other means or in some other tool. Here itself, on the graph itself. So we will talk about creating dashboard. Dashboard is basically an interactive report. It is a collection of several views that will be brought together into one place so that we can compare and contrast the data. We can understand the patterns and we can understand the anomalies in the data. There is, so the person who laid down all of these principles, right? There is, this person is called Mr. Edward Tufte. He is considered to be the father of data visualization principles. He has done tremendous work in the field of data visualization. He still to this date continues to do it. And he's the one who set up these principles. He's the one who laid down the rules and the goals of data visualization, all these things. So I think we owe it a lot to this person, Mr. Edward Tufte. He has done tremendous work in the field of data visualization as such. Okay, so what I'll do now is I'll open Tableau and I'll give you all a demo on how to create a report or a dashboard on Tableau. Okay, let's say we need to understand the customer profitability. Okay, the requirement is to create a report indicating the customer profitability. Here is Tableau that I have, and this is Power BI. Okay, so on any tool, right, whether be it Tableau or be it Power BI, the first thing is you need to connect to the data. Only after connecting to the data, we will use that data and create different types of reports. So here I am on the Tableau homepage. On the Tableau homepage, the homepage of Tableau looks like this. All right, and I need to create some charts over here. I need to connect to the data for that purpose. So I'm going to select Microsoft Excel. I'll connect to an Excel source and connect to this source. It is a retail business superstore where different types of products are sold. Now comes data preparation. Okay, data connection. Okay, I got connected to the data, but can I directly start creating charts with this data? Not yet. You need to prepare your data. So if you notice here, data is coming from multiple worksheets or multiple tables. It could be across multiple databases also. And we have to prepare it. So maybe I want the information about the list of orders placed, but I would also like to know whether the order is returned by the customer. It happens quite often. Even we do it, right? We place an order. When we receive it, suppose whatever we have received is something we do not like. Suppose it is damaged in transit, or we got something else. We ordered something and by mistake we got something else. We will return that order. So what is happening in Superstore here is if the order is placed, information about the orders that are placed is in the orders table. And information about the orders that are returned by the customers is in the returns table. Okay, so we have information about the orders placed and returns. And how am I preparing my data? I'm joining the two tables. Okay, I'm joining the two tables and I'm using left join. Again, we'll not get into what are joins. It's just a method of combining data from multiple tables and creating a big virtual table with all the data put together. That much is enough for now. Now that I have joined my data, I have prepared my data and maybe even people. It has the names of the regional sales managers. So I have my data prepared. Data preparation is a very important part of business intelligence because data may not always come from a single table or a single source. It could be coming from across multiple tables, multiple data sources. So you need to prepare your data even before you go ahead and analyze it. Okay, you need to prepare. So after preparing the data, we will proceed to the worksheet. Now I have the complete list of fields from the database listed out over here on this side, on the left side. This is called the data pane. Okay, this is the data pane where I can see the fields. Now, what was our intention? To create, ultimately to create something called as customer profitability dashboard. Analyze the profits generated by various customers. So what kinds of charts can we create? Maybe first, I'd like to know who are the top performing customers. So I'll bring customer name here and I will take profit here. Okay, this is called rows and this is called columns. When you take something to rows, every member will get arranged as a row like this. And when you take something to columns, the data will cut across columns. You see, it's cutting across columns. 2K, 5K, 10K, whatever. They're cutting across columns. And by using this icon here, we can very easily sort the data. Again, the purpose of this webinar is not to teach you the tool as such. The purpose of this webinar is to show you how these tools can, take a lot of data. Like here we have close to 10,000 records of data. Now, if I'm supposed to go through each and every record here and try to draw some inferences, it's an impossible task. On the other hand, by using this BI tools, how it makes it very easy for us to analyze our data. So the idea is to give you that feel that, how these tools help us in real time. Okay, not to teach the tool itself, but to show you the application of the tool. So here I am interested in looking at only the top 5 profitable customers. So I'll have to put a filter for that. So I'm bringing customer name into filters. And we have something called as top here. I will put a filter which is going to give me the top 5 profitable customers. The top 5. So if we want, we could make use of color, maybe color them most profitable and amongst the 5, the least profitable person. Now, maybe I'd give it a meaningful name, top 5 customers. Let's say I want to create another chart which will show me the bottom 5 customers. Okay, the bottom 5 customers. So I'll repeat the same thing. Customer name here. To check the profit from each customer, I'll take it here. Sort the data in descending order and apply the filter. This time I'll apply the filter in such a way that it's going to give me the bottommost 5 customers of the business. Okay, and I could even go ahead and choose to color it. Okay, so I have the top 5 list with me. I have the bottom 5 list with me. Now, maybe even show the numbers, show the labels. Okay. How much is the profit coming from them? And what is the loss that they are contributing to each of them? So even the labels have appeared here. You can see a very bad loss of $6,000 coming from Cindy Stewart. Okay. Now, maybe I would like to categorize them by region or by state that they belong to. So I'll go ahead, create a geographical map showing the states and how much profit is coming from each state. How much profit is coming from each state. So you can see the color legend there. Highly profitable states are coming in dark blue color, lesser profits light blue, very light shade of blue means extremely low profit. Close to gray means it's close to 0 here. So the color is centered around 0. Okay. From 0, we have positive values in shades of blue and we have negative in shades of orange. Orange means loss. Dark orange means very bad loss. Okay. So that's it. Now, how do I create? This is the map indicating the profit. So my individual graphs are ready. How do I create a dashboard or a report with it? Now in Tableau, you can create only one chart on each sheet. You can create only one chart per sheet. One chart here, one chart here, one chart here. Let me do one more thing. Maybe I'll also create a table with the list of customers and the profit from those customers. Okay, but here I'm interested in looking at those people who have returned a lot of orders. So let's say I'll do one thing. Customers with highest returns, because if customer keeps returning the orders, if they keep on returning the orders, then also the company is going to suffer because of that. Let's say there is some customer, you need to identify the customers who are returning things a lot. Okay, we need to know whether it is genuine or not. Are they just doing for the sake of doing it? Because when a customer returns an item, the company will not make the profit that they made from that transaction anymore because they have to process the refund. Okay, that is a burden. Second thing is, again, they have to, arrange for the shipment also. Right? They need to send a person to collect that particular item which is being returned. So it's an additional cost to the company because they have to even arrange all these things. So they would definitely want to identify the customers who are returning most of the items that they purchase and thereby putting a dent in the profits. So how do we identify these people? Right? So these are the customers, and I'll show you the orders that they have placed. This is the list of orders that each person has placed. Now, I'm not interested in the list. I'm interested in how many orders they have placed. So I'll just change this to distinct count. Each customer and the number of orders that they have placed, we have here. Now, not everybody will return it, isn't it? Very few people might return. Very few people would be returning the orders that they place if they absolutely do not like it. So the returns would obviously be a small subset of orders, isn't it? So most of them would not have returned even a single order. Some of them might have returned. So I want to see if they have returned, then how many? Okay. So I have, remember, I already prepared my data. What preparation did I do on this data? I already joined the orders data with the returns data. So I even have an idea about the orders that are returned by the customers because I already prepared my data upfront. Okay, so here we know, let me do a little bit of formatting to remove the decimals because decimals don't make sense here, right? Decimals will not make sense here. It is the number of orders. You will not return 1.5 order or 2.5 orders. Well, I'll just go ahead and do some formatting. Okay, so we can see all these people, they have not returned even a single order. Here we have Adrian Barton who placed 10 orders but returned only 1 order, which is okay, which is fine. Adrian Hain placed 7 orders and returned 1 order. Perfectly fine. Okay, it's quite possible. Something they might have not liked of all the orders that they placed. So what if I can sort this data? Look at this. Sorting the data is also pretty simple in all these tools. You just hover there, you have the sort icon. Okay. So here I can see the people who have returned a lot of orders, 3, 2, 1, and then all zeros. Okay. 9 orders placed, 3 returned, 12 orders placed, 3 returned, 10 orders placed, 3 returned. Seems all right. But what about these people? They've placed 4 orders, they've returned half of them. Half of the orders are returned by these customers. So now what if you have to identify those people who are returning half or more than half of the orders placed, right? I'm giving my client an idea about what are the number of orders that each customer has placed and also the number of orders that they have returned. If you look at Hillary, placed 2 orders and returned both of them. We might want to know why. Right? We might definitely want to know why, what went wrong. Why did she return both the orders? So let us say your client further gives you a requirement saying, now can you shorten this list? Can you just give me the names of those people who are returning half or more than half of the orders that they have placed? If they've returned half or more than half of the orders that they've placed, can you provide me their names so that I can talk to them and find out what went wrong? Why did they have to return so many times and, orders and all? Now what to do? Again, all of these tools have inbuilt filter options. You can very nicely filter the data. There are a lot of options when it comes to filtering, sorting, etc. I'll write a simple formula. If the distinct count of orders that are returned is greater than or equal to the distinct count of orders placed divided by 2, right? If the number of orders returned by the customer, that is what we are seeing here, distinct count of orders that are returned. These are the returned orders. If that is greater than or equal to half of the orders placed, then we are interested in such orders. We are interested in seeing the names of those customers who have returned half or more than half of the orders that they have placed. So I hope this formula is clear. Simple logic. Now look at the list. It will get updated. So I have those people who are returning either half or more than half of the orders that they have placed. Luckily over here for this business, it is very few people. So this business is quite fortunate. They don't have any, customers pranking them, simply placing the order and returning it for the sake of it. So they have a very few list of people. They can talk to them and they can find out why they are returning so many, at this rate. So like this, whatever might be the question, these tools like Tableau and Power BI, the business intelligence tools, they can provide you an answer almost instantaneously with very little effort. That is what I want you all to notice here. The question might have seemed complex, but without much effort, I got the answer. All these tools, be it Tableau or Power BI, both of them, they are very user friendly. You don't have to be from a programming background to learn these tools. You don't have to be from IT field. You don't have to be a coding expert. If you know basic mathematics, basic logical reasoning you have in your mind, like in this case, how do I get the people who return more than half of the orders placed? I need to find out how many orders are placed, divide it by 2. What is the total number of orders that they have placed? Divide it by 2 to get half of it. And then see whether this is greater than that number or not. Isn't it? Simple logical reasoning. So, to learn these tools, you don't have to have any prior experience in the software industry. Absolutely not required to have coding experience. Not required to have any, programming experience. Not necessary that you should have worked on some other tools in the technical field. Nothing. No matter which domain you are coming from, you can learn these tools, you can master them, and you can be a data analyst. You can make a significant place for yourself in the world of business intelligence. Okay, now let's go ahead and see how to create a dashboard with all of this. I'll click on this icon for creating a dashboard, and I will simply assemble all these graphs together. So maybe the map first. Then I'll show the top 5 customers as well as the bottom 5 customers and these people who are returning most of the orders. I don't want to give so much space over here to this chart, so I'll just go ahead and make it smaller. You can do that. Okay, you can adjust the size of each component so that it will fit nicely into the screen. Okay, this is enough. I would like to give slightly more space to the map. So when we are creating a dashboard, some of the things that we do is we try to arrange the components in a Z pattern, zigzag, Z pattern, and don't try to put too many worksheets in one dashboard. It might look a little cluttered and all. So we'll keep it simple. We could give a background color. See, you need to be a little bit of an artist also. Okay. Apart from being an analyst or data scientist or whatever you're aspiring to be, you need to be a little bit of an artist also to work on these tools, in my opinion, because we need to know how to beautify it, I would say, right? How to make use of color and such things to make the chart look a little more presentable and beautiful. So I've given it a background color. Okay. We can do a lot of other things. Okay, you can adjust the titles, worksheets, a lot of other things, but we'll keep it simple here. Right. Now, 4 graphs, it looks like randomly I brought 4 graphs and I placed them over here. But what if I have to make them interactive? Okay, I want these charts to be able to interact with each other. So we can enable something called as the filter action just by clicking on that funnel. Okay, it's very simple. So now when I go and select any country, any state, you can see how all the other charts are getting updated, showing me data pertaining to that state. So these are our top 5 customers and these are our bottom 5, the least profitable ones. And these are the complete list of customers, the orders they've placed and returned. Here, one other thing, we can even now, edit the alias and give a more meaningful name. Let's say I'll call this orders placed. And this is the orders returned. Okay, now I think it will be slightly more meaningful. Orders placed and the ones that are returned. Now look at this. When I select any particular country, all the other charts are getting updated, showing the performance of those customers, of the top 5 customers in that particular state. So of the top 5, these 2 people have made transactions in California, and this is the contribution to profit. Of the bottom 5, very strange and interesting insight here. Out of the bottom 5 people, the ones in the bottom 5 list, okay, the ones who have supposedly given us very bad loss, even they have contributed to profits when it comes to California. So no wonder this state is doing so well. Even the least profitable customers are giving us profits there. Okay, suppose I go to New York. So out of the top 5, all of these 4 people have made transactions in New York, and this is their contribution. And from the bottom 5, we can see 2 of them are contributing to profits here, and 1 of them is giving a loss. Okay, out of the overall. If I go to Texas, which is a state with very bad loss, so 2 of the bottom 5 are from here, and this is their contribution to loss. And what is more surprising here is these people who are supposed to be the most profitable customers, like Tamara Chand is the most profitable one, then Adrian Barton, they are in the top 5 list. And even they are contributing to loss when it comes to Texas. No wonder Texas is doing so bad. Isn't it? Even the top 5 people have only contributed to losses over here. Getting it? So these kinds of insights we can draw. And now when I'll just click outside and it's cleared the selection. Suppose I want to know what are all the states where Tamara Chand has made transactions. Okay, 8,900 is the profit. But in which all states did this person go and do the transactions? I could simply enable the filter. I'll click on this data point for Tamara Chand. Now look at this. Tamara Chand has not returned anything. So there's this went blank. He's obviously not the bottom 5. He's one of the top 5, not in the bottom 5 list. So this went blank. And this person probably is from Indiana, because you can see the highest, most of the profit coming from this person. Out of 8,900, most of it is coming from that one particular state, the state of Indiana. And a little bit from Alabama. Look at that. In Texas, he's giving a loss. And in Washington, very little. Okay. If I would like to see the contribution of Adrian Barton, with $5,400 of profit coming from that person. So this person seems like an avid traveler. This person is probably from Michigan because the highest contribution is there. And the neighboring states like Indiana and Kentucky and Illinois. And in Texas, even Adrian Barton is contributing to a loss, even in Arizona. And this person has done some transactions in Oregon as well. Okay, so that is the idea. And did this person return anything? No, it's not there in the return list. Not return more than half of the orders placed at least, right? It's not, and obviously not in the bottom 5 list. So that is the beauty of creating a dashboard. Are you able to understand the inferences that I'm trying to draw here? Creating the dashboard is one part, but sharing the insights, making it interactive, drawing some meaningful conclusions from here, seeing the customer behavior, analyzing the customer pattern, behavior. Okay, so these kinds of things we can do very easily when we create dashboards on tools like Tableau or Power BI. I hope you're able to appreciate the tool because these are quite complex questions. Okay, it's not easy. Any of these questions that I have tried to answer here, imagine if you were supposed to if you were given this raw data, right? If you are given this data and if you're asked to go through each and every record of data that is present and then to answer those questions, identify the customer with the highest profit, identify the customer with the least profit, identify the contribution of the most profitable customer across states. It would be a nearly impossible task. But by creating charts, First of all, chart creation took less than 10 minutes. Dashboard creation took less than 2 minutes. And to make them interact, all I did was click on this funnel. And I was able to achieve the purpose, answer all the questions, right? So that is the beauty of data visualization tools. The reason there is so much demand in the market for these tools, and there's so much immense growth that is happening in this field, and there are so many tools that are emerging by the day. However, Tableau and Power BI, they have maintained themselves as market leaders consistently. Tableau for more than 10 years now, in Power BI for more than 6 years, I think now. In a row, they are in the leader's position. Okay, do you all have any questions for me? What are the learning curves for new users in Power BI versus Tableau? What are the resources available for training? See, whether it is Power BI or it is Tableau, as I told you, you don't need any coding experience or programming experience. You can learn them pretty easily because both of them are tools that work on the concept of drag and drop. All these charts that I created, mostly I'm just dragging the fields and dropping them in different areas, right? So the training that we provide here at 360DigiTMG is quite comprehensive. Whether you enroll for Tableau or you enroll for Power BI, the training is comprehensive. It is designed in such a way that we start from the very basics, okay, right from installing the tool to getting you all familiar with the tool, to helping you learn different types of charts, to helping you decide which chart to create when, okay, to teaching you how to create dashboards, to teaching you how to write calculations, how to implement filters, how to publish it on the server, what things can we do on the server, Tableau server, Power BI server. So it covers all the aspects. The training covers all the aspects, right from installing the tool to deployment of the report or the dashboard on the cloud or on the server. So both, whether it is Tableau or Power BI, everything is covered end to end. Okay, if you're further interested in checking the details of the course, you want to get a complete understanding of the course, then you can reach out to the team. I think they will share a brochure with you. Or you could just visit our website and you can explore over there as well. You can check out the course, the program, the sessions, how they happen. Again, if you're in Malaysia, it would obviously be slightly different. I mean, here everything is in INR, Indian rupees. Malaysia, it would be in ringgits, and accordingly, the syllabus also will be customized for you. And I think you can download the brochure here. Okay, it gives you complete idea about the concepts. There are online trainings only. If you're in Malaysia, then of course you have online training. But if you're from India, then you can even go ahead and attend classroom trainings, whatever is convenient for you. So what are the modules, and under each module, what will be covered? Okay, you could just go ahead and explore the syllabus from here. The resources and what resources we provide, the syllabus, all that you can explore from. This is for Tableau. Similarly, we have it for Power BI as well. Okay, no. What are the key differences between Power BI and Tableau in terms of functionality and ease of use? Okay, both of them are similar, but maybe a few differences here and there. I'll do one thing. I'll share one small 2 minutes video with you. Just a moment. Something is wrong with my system. Just a moment. I'll do one thing. I'll just copy this and I'll share it with you here. So this is a video that helps you understand the differences between Tableau and Power BI. Just a 2 minute short, actually, very short video, just 2 minutes duration. I personally like both the tools. I personally feel both the tools are very, very good in their own way. Both of them are used for visualization. The look and feel is different. Okay, the look and feel is different, but creating the charts, all those concepts are pretty much the same. Both the tools are good enough to connecting to and also to handle large data sets. Okay, both of them can handle large data sets. Both of them can connect with even big data and all that. So they are pretty good in their own way. Power BI may not be as efficient as Tableau to handle large data sets. Okay, Ananya, when it comes to handling large data sets and big data, Tableau is better than Power BI. Tableau is better than Power BI. Rest of the features both are pretty much the same. Okay, yeah, thank you, Noor, for sharing this link with me. This is the link for those of you in Malaysia if you're interested in enrolling for Tableau. Similarly, if you're interested in enrolling for Power BI also, you can check out the link. Okay. Do check out this link and subscribe to our 360 channel if you have not yet. Let me just show you Power BI also, the look and feel of it. You'll get an idea. Thank you, Noor. I will share it across with everyone. Yeah. When you open Power BI, right, after you have installed, of course, when you open Power BI, this is what the home page will look like. And here also it is important that you connect to the data. Suppose I have to connect to an Excel. I'll choose Excel. And then I'll connect to the same file, sample superstore. And then, of course, click on open. And what will it do? It will show me the complete list of tables present in that particular data source. Okay, and here also we can perform joins and all that. If you want to join data from multiple sources, you can join it. So I could simply select all the tables that I would like to join. Okay, and transform. You can see that the concepts are the same, but here to prepare your data, there is a tool called as Power Query Editor. In Tableau, you prepare the data on Tableau desktop itself. But in Power BI, data preparation part is done on Power Query Editor. Power Query Editor. And it has a lot of capabilities for data cleaning. Okay, now if I have to join this data, I'll transform it. So you can notice that it's mostly drag and drop, all right? Yeah. Here, I'll have to go and use something called as merge queries. This is for joining. Like I did in Tableau, I just dragged and dropped the tables and joined them. Here it is. This is how you join. Orders, I want to join with returns. Specify the join clause and click on OK. There it is a Venn diagram, that kind of thing you will get. Here it is slightly different. The features are the same, but the look and feel could be different. Okay, now that I have joined my data and suppose, let's say that's it. I'm happy with this data that I have. I could simply close this, and this data, which I have prepared on the Power Query Editor, which I have joined on the Power Query Editor, is now loaded into Power BI Desktop. So earlier when I showed you Tableau, the list of fields, where were they? They were on the left side, right? We had the data pane with the list of fields on the left side. Over here, we have it on the right side. Okay, we can build different visualizations by dragging and dropping the fields again. Let's say Here also, I'm interested in creating a map. So you have to choose the visualization, and then you will feed the data over here. There we had columns and rows and filters like this, right? Here we have it here. Okay, you have to drop it here. And then you have filters as a pane over here. Same thing, but just the look and feel is different. So country, and I'll bring state. Okay, and let's say I would like to indicate the profit. Okay, so a small setting that I'll have to change there. Security, use map and fill map issues. This is active. So you can see it's giving me the map. Something is wrong with my system. Okay, so you can see, right, like creating the map. I'm done with creating the map here. And okay, let's say now I have to create that bar graph. The bar graph that was representing top 5 customers. So I'll just bring customer name here. And I'll take the profit field, this profit here. Okay, profit from different customers. It's acting a little weird here. Customer name and profit. Somehow taking it as a measure, I'll have to check that out, but customer ID and profit. Okay, fine. We got the customers and the profit from them. I'll remove the customer ID, put the name. Okay, so now we are interested in suppose only top 5. So I'll have to go to filters, and here we can put the filter. Basic filtering, we have advanced filtering. And also we have the top end filtering. So I need top 5 customers based on their profit, right? So once I apply the filter, this chart will get updated. Now here you can notice that in Tableau, I was able to create only one chart on each sheet. And then I finally created a dashboard where I dragged all the sheets into the dashboard. Whereas on Power BI, that is not the case. Okay, when we are working with Power BI, you are basically creating the report upfront. Okay. creating the report upfront means you can put multiple graphs together in the canvas. So I have my top 5 customers here. I have the map, which is not so good, but again, map visuals, Tableau is better. Here we can create, but there's a little problem with the maps. Maybe we'll convert this to map like that and show like this. Okay, this looks better. So you can see a data point representing each thing. Now, if I want bottom 5 customers, I could simply create the same chart again. Maybe again, click here. I have to just load customer name and profit into the chart. Okay, and this time for this graph, what is the filter to be applied? The requirement is to get the bottom 5. So we'll just go to the top and filter. And here also, instead of top, we can simply choose bottom and say that I want bottom 5 members based on what? Based on the profit. And once I apply the filter, you can see the chart is showing us bottom 5. And each of these graphs, we can go to formatting and we can enable the labels, data labels you can turn on, show the numbers, you can customize it. All those options are available. Okay, you can change the color of the bars. What color would you like to use? Give them a border. All such options are available. So the thing is, both the tools are used for visualization. Both of them are good. The look and feel is different. The placement and position of things are different on the tool. The interface is different. Tableau is better when it comes to big data sources compared to Power BI. Otherwise, both of them are pretty good. Okay, and then of course, I shared the link with you all to get more into the differences between the two if you're interested in. Okay, and the links, if you would like to explore the training resource and the syllabus at 360DigiTMG, please follow those links and you will be able to get it. Okay, yeah, any other questions? Hope you got some idea, right, about both the tools. Hope you got some idea. Both of them are mostly drag and drop interface only. In both the tools, you have the option for creating calculations. So that we will teach. Okay, even if you're not from a mathematical background or even if you're not from a technical background, it's okay because we will learn it from the basics in the training, calculations and all. Again, not a very difficult tool to learn and master. Very user-friendly tools, both of them are. Just need to put in a little effort, right? No matter which field we are in, we need to put a little effort to learn new things. So initially it might seem scary, but by the end of the training, you will be well versed with it. All right, thank you all so much. If you have any questions, anything else you might want to know, I'm here to help you. Otherwise, we'll end the meeting here. Thank you. Okay, I'll stop the recording here.